So it's rivalry week, divisional matchups. These are very, very important. If you ask me which division is the most wide open, I think it's this one. I literally think because it is by far the weakest division in the whole league, it's going to be wide opening for the taking. And even though these two teams are 1-3, would it surprise me if they won the division? The answer is absolutely no. I mean, that's just the strength of schedule and whatnot. We're looking at this in kind of a weird perspective. I actually do believe, even though by record shown this is the worst matchup of the week, I fully understand and I get that. I actually do have a bold statement to make that I do feel like, in a weird way, I think these teams are kind of trending more upward than they are downward. And I know on one side, it's the two lowest scoring teams, if I'm not mistaken. So that's not good. But one team has battled through injuries. Another team has battled through injuries. One team might get their first round pick this week. Due to it being a Monday night, there's a great chance that could happen. We're going to go with me versus Alan in this matchup. I know Alan, I think, just lives for rivalry weeks, to be honest. I think he does not care about what's going on in any other division except his. I love the enthusiasm because this division does suck. If I had to put my money on one cousin, I still think that I might be still in it based on what's going on in this division. But this is the one cousin, though, that I will take over the other without a doubt. I will take my money to Vegas and throw it on there. If you're asking me, which cousin do you like better? It's hands down this one than the other one. Anyway, we'll go with my team versus Alan's team. Let's break it down. Speaking of cousins, Kirk Cousins versus Kyler Murray. So I'm just going to say right now, I think Kirk Cousins is an interesting stream. The fact that Justin Jefferson is stepping up makes me feel a little bit more confident in Kirk Cousins. Dalvin Cook is probably the one player who's having an amazing year that nobody seems to be talking about at all. But I do feel like the emergence of Justin Jefferson and having Adam Thielen now get open really, really bodes well for Kirk Cousins' fantasy outlook in a game where they're going to trail from behind, in a game where the team is good against the run, but they're not so good against the pass. It's an interesting stream. It is at Seattle. There is no 12th man factor. I think he should be fine. This defense, I don't know if Jamal Adams is going to be playing, but he's going to have to go against Kyler Murray, and Kyler Murray is the definition of a high floor quarterback. Some people think that Dak just might finish as the quarterback one because of them trailing, and it's fine. I don't think Kyler has 35 to 40 point upside like Mahomes and Dak do. I think it's clearly those two are number 1 and 2, but I do feel like Murray is a guaranteed mid-20s. His range of outcomes is like 20 to like 35 tops. So in a game against the New York Jets where I don't know the health of his receivers, but his rushing floor alone gets him there. He's like Lamar Jackson last year if he could throw the ball. With that being said, even though Kirk has a decent matchup, I'll give the slight edge to myself. I think Murray against the Jets, definitely, especially because they have a good run defense, but they can't stop the pass for you-know-what. I think Murray's got a great outlook ahead of him in this matchup. I'll say that he probably, he's always got me 28, 29. I'll say he stays around there, and I see Kirk Cousins around 22. Okay, so the interesting wide receiver battle thing that we're going to have to mention here, and I know you want to take a victory lap, but I'm gonna stop and pause for that for a second. DJ Moore and Robert Woods, Robbie Anderson, and Terry McLaurin. First and foremost, the best receiver in this matchup is Terry McLaurin. I am not high on him because of Kyle Allen. It's just, this guy gets it done with whoever. Terry McLaurin should be a second-round pick next year. You heard it here first. Terry McLaurin is a second-round pick next year. If I have a pick in the second round, I am absolutely going with him. Alan, I got pissed when I was picking next to you because you sniped me on literally 3 or 4 picks. It was not Naheem Hines. I know you really thought I was going for that. It wasn't him at all, but McLaurin was a guy I really, really liked this year a lot, and I think the sky is the limit. He might be, for those of you who do Dynasty Leagues, which is probably just harsh, but he's the guy I would try to trade for right away for Dynasty. The guy is an absolute stud. I told you last year. Are we scared about Jalen Ramsey? It's funny because he just popped up on the injury report. Don't know, a thigh injury is fine. Jalen Ramsey, are we concerned? No, I'm not. Jalen Ramsey is still good. He's still shut down material, but Terry McLaurin, I think he's going to be a league winner. I don't know if he's league winner this year. Next year, he'll be a league winner maybe. I don't know, but Sky's the limit. Robbie Anderson. Let's talk about Robbie Anderson versus DJ Moore. Robbie has outproduced DJ Moore in 3 of the 4 games. Up into week 4, DJ Moore was still leader in targets. That significantly went down. Poses the question, what the fuck is going on with DJ Moore? A lot of people are already giving the bust button. And I really thought that last week he would break through, and he didn't. Bottom line is this. If he is not involved in the Atlanta game plan, against a really crap secondary, Jesus Lord. The positive news is DJ Moore is still top 10 in routes run. He's not coming off the field. What's going on here is the weirdest situation has flip-flopped both roles, which sucks if you draft DJ Moore. DJ Moore is being used as the guy who's going deep and not Robbie Anderson, which to me absolutely makes no sense at all. The reason being is there's 2 sides of the factor, and I think it's if you're a truther of either or. DJ Moore is winning against soft zone coverage. He is not beating and separating against man. However, if you look at it, the Raiders, I don't want to say they have a good pass defense because they don't, but Carlton Davis was a tough matchup. Casey Hayward was a touch matchup where they got up early. In the Arizona Cardinals game, Patrick Peterson, he's not as elite as he was, but take it for what it's worth. I mean, if you want to say that. Robbie Anderson is being the guy who's being used on these screens, these intermediate short throws, which kind of makes DJ Moore very, very hard to trust going forward if this continues. And as of right now, there's no signs where it would stop. The only thing why I'm not saying DJ Moore is a bust yet is because they've been winning every game. And it's weird because after McCaffrey, I thought DJ Moore was the best buy low buy ever because they were going to be behind. And I don't know what I'm talking myself into. I can't give him the bust. If he doesn't get it done this week, yes, Alan, congratulations by getting the discount. But I'm calling you out on this shit. You said you knew you'd be the wide receiver 1. I took DJ Moore, and you started getting pissed. Like, oh, no, I can't believe you sniped me on that. So don't give me that bullshit like you knew that was going to happen. I'm calling you out on that. But anyway, other than that, Robbie, seems like he should be fine. Here's the big if. If they're going to use DJ Moore in a deep threat role, I think this matchup kind of might scream out to him just because there is no corners that can go deep. But it's Teddy Bridgewater. They're a conservative passing attack. If you're telling me Robbie Anderson's going to be the short intermediate guy, this could be another field day for him. DJ Moore and Robert Woods. Woods should have a safe floor against Washington. I mean, it's nothing spectacular. The Rams' game plan sucked beyond belief last week. I got to go with Robbie Anderson and Terry McLaurin. Robbie Anderson has already given you a substantial floor, and now he's in a great matchup. And now you're getting the beast known as Terry McLaurin. Do I think it's going to be a significant advantage to Allen? Well, if Robbie Anderson scores, I think it's a slam dunk on his end because I think Woods and McLaurin might have a good floor. If I'm looking at Moore versus Anderson, does this become a game where it's a shootout? Then I kind of like both of them. But if Carolina gets up early, there's nothing that I can say DJ Moore will overtake Robbie Anderson in this matchup. I honestly would need, if DJ Moore's going to have a good game, it's because I need Atlanta to score points. And if you're telling me Julio and Ridley are banged up, does not look good. This could be a big, big, big Carolina win for Allen because there's somebody on the other side we're going to talk about. I'll give the advantage to Allen. The running backs, Mike Davis, Antonio Gibson, Josh Kelly, Chase Edmonds, slam dunk Allen. Allen, this is not superstitious bullshit. I know you fucking hate it. You and Johnny love it when I pick against you guys to rub it in my face. I'm not there. Dude, I literally don't like my running backs. I got lucky by picking up Justin Jackson, but I picked him up not thinking Eckler was going to get hurt because Josh Kelly's fumbled the ball. And if he doesn't do it here, which is not a good matchup, I don't know what the outlook is for these Chargers backs. It might just be a really gross split. Chase Edmonds is trending up in the right direction. Kenyon Drake has looked awful yet again. For those of you who bought into his 2-game sample size where he went off, okay, that's ridiculous. Mike Davis, I was totally wrong about Mike Davis. What the fuck? The guy is unstoppable right now, and I don't see any signs of slowing down. Antonio Gibson is getting the workload. That is great. This is an up-paced game where they should get a lot of opportunities. Rams are subpar, not really good. The guaranteed touches go to Allen. Slam dunk. I think if in this department, if these running backs can hit for him, I think it's game over. Unless we have some fluky bullshit going on here, or your guys don't live up to par. But right now, you're in a good spot. Tight end wise, Logan Thomas or Dalton Schultz. If Dalton Schultz plays, I'll go Dalton Schultz. This Dallas defense is so bad. My only concern is this might be the one game where they're going to have a lead because the Giants just look that bad. Dalton Schultz to me looks like a guy he's only used if they're trailing from behind and you get Dak doing the dinking and dunking. He's not a good tight end by any means necessary. But seeing him do this really makes me upset to see what Blake Jarwin could have been in this high-powered offense. This is an interesting bunch. Tyler Lockett, Devontae Parker, DJ Chark, Michael Thomas. I think this is a very even matchup with a lot of upside. Michael Thomas's health comes down if he's going to play. Great news for Michael Thomas, no Chris Harris Jr., which means that if he comes back healthy, this could be the dagger, a 2-touchdown game. You heard it here first. Chark, you got to like what you see. If you're really trying to sell him, fine, Allen, but I'm not giving you $100 for him. Tyler Lockett and Parker. Look, Parker, what Devontae Parker is doing right now is what I thought DJ Moore would be. Like, he's just a consistent 10 to 16. Lockett has a lot of upside. You know how I feel about Tyler Lockett, especially in a good matchup against the Minnesota Vikings. This matchup bodes well for both him and Metcalf. I think both should be fine in this one. And I'll take Kansas City D over Washington D, although that's not a bad play. It is a very underrated play. Okay, keys to victory. Look, DJ Moore is number one key to victory for myself. If this guy can't get it done against the Atlanta Falcons and Robbie Anderson does, I'm behind the 8 ball and I need a lot of help. It's not going to come from the running backs. The second key to victory is that Kyler Murray has to deliver. My third key to victory, which is not one I want to rely on, does Chase Edmonds get more workload against a pathetic Jets defense? Is this a game where they want to say, you know what, Kenyon Drake, I don't know what's going to happen with him. He looks abysmal. I don't expect him to miss any time, but this is a matchup that bodes well for Chase Edmonds in the passing game. So he could be the wild card here for me to take over. For Allen's keys to victory, it starts with those running backs. You already have an advantage going against me and guys that are in shit matchups, number one, and committees, number two. Well, you kind of have the same thing, but not really. Mike Davis, you got to ride the roller coaster until it stops when Christian McCaffrey comes back. The bad news for you, Allen, is that the Panthers keep winning, because I actually was under the belief if they kept losing, McCaffrey, they just wouldn't bring back this season. But the fact that they're winning, it would suck. If they kept losing, your team, I would honestly say, which is why I didn't have you at number 12, I like the upside a lot because I thought that, Carolina would just tank and save McCaffrey for next year. There's no point in it, but they're winning, and that bodes concern because the rest of your running backs don't look like you can use them except for Gibson. But, Allen, I got to admit, your receivers and your running backs have fantastic matchups. You're right. Fuck Yahoo projections, and I know you've been cold for the last 3 weeks or so. Man, this is going to be an interesting matchup, bro. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Your key to victory, though, I got to say, is Robbie Anderson keeps overtaking DJ Moore. That's number one. Mike Davis. If Mike Davis goes off for 20, look, my running backs are not putting that up. Josh Kelly cannot put up 20 points, especially in a very hard New Orleans rush defense. Chase Edmonds is the biggest wild card, though, so you never know there. Do you need a healthy Michael Thomas? I don't think you do, because knowing the swapping that you have Latavius Murray, so you should be good on that end. That's my key to victory. I don't pick a winner, but there's a lot of circumstances where if Atlanta gets blown out, this should be a game where you should easily win. No, your microphone is not. Your microphone is not broken. I'm just like, I don't know what to say about this matchup. I am showing respect because one team is the leader of the division and they have a 500 record. The other matchup did not. This is why this is not as the worst game of the week. One team, I think, caught the injury bug. The other team kind of caught the injury bug, but it's more than just an injury bug. It's just lacklusting performances going left and right for this team, which is why I've been very opinionated on this team. And I don't like talking about it because it just gets me pissed off. Anyway, Josh Allen versus Teddy Bridgewater. Josh Allen is a slam dunk. However, if this game does get canceled and we continue to play, I'm going to get even more pissed off. Anyway, Amari Cooper, Darius Slayton, Traquan Smith, Brandon Cooks. Amari Cooper will outscore both by at least 15. We're done with that. Josh Jacobs and running back number 2, who is blank at this point. Fournette. I'm not going to tell him what to do, Andre. Don't worry. I'm not going to tell him what to freaking do. Jesus Christ, dude. All your IR spots. Andre wins the running back battle, though. Josh Jacobs, not a great matchup against Kansas City. Melvin Gordon, terrible matchup against New England. Oh, my God. This is gross. Actually, no. No. All right, fine, Andre. I won't be that much of an asshole. I'll give it to you because he doesn't have a running back 2 in here. But your workload is great. The matchups suck. I do not like this team at all. Zach Ertz versus Jonnu Smith. Give me Jonnu Smith. Zach Ertz looks washed. Oh, Jesus. Hunter Henry and Justin Jefferson. I like that a lot, actually. Justin Jefferson is the beast. David Moore and Eric Ebron. I think Justin Jefferson outscores both by at least 7. And Hunter Henry, who cares, honestly, at this point. Chicago D versus LA D. Give me LA D. Okay, I think this is not being bold when I say this is the lowest scoring game of the week. Teddy Bridgewater in a streamable matchup is a great pickup. I don't trust any of the receivers and the flexes. Okay, I'll pick a winner. I'm going to have to go by default because you had Andre. Unfortunately, you don't have any studs going in this matchup. Depending on Julio's health, I think he might be out for a while. I'm going with Alex here because Josh Allen, Amari Cooper, and Josh Jacobs alone, I think, will be good enough to cover whatever things bust for you. My final score in this one is going to be Alex 98, Andre 87. Okay, so this matchup in particular, when I look at it in a rivalry, I honestly thought it was going to be a two-man race, and it could probably be in this division that is very, very competitive. It's weird because I was not big on one team, and they're putting up a lot of points somehow. I don't know how it's possible. Other team I was really, really high on. They're getting hit with the injury bug, and a lot of the guys are starting to show their true colors, so there is a bit of concern on that end, but team is going to get healthier any minute now. Patrick versus Harsh. Let's dive into it. What is going to happen? Lamar Jackson, who's looked absolutely abysmal throwing the ball this year, versus Gardner Minshew. Minshew is in a great matchup against Houston, but Lamar against Cincinnati should run all over them. He'll only pass for like 87 yards, but he'll get like 100 on the ground. Mike Evans, Jarvis Landry. Mike Evans is a trooper. He's a soldier. He'll get it out. Tyreek Hill. Oh, Debo Samuel getting the star now. Forgot you even had him. Look at this. Look at this. Tyreek. How do we feel about him against the Las Vegas Raiders? Well, Vegas has not. The interesting thing about Las Vegas is they have not given up any explosive plays through the air thus far. But Tyreek Hill, for everybody who thinks the guy is so boom or bust, the guy's been, in my opinion, probably the best receiver this year. 13, 19, 18, 14. So you mean to tell me this guy is becoming Devontae Adams with games where he hasn't even gotten off yet? Harsh, congratulations on that pick. I don't like Landry at all. I think he's just Mike Evans is going to get 10 to 12 targets, which could come close to Tyreek. And then it comes down to Debo Samuel, who should be acclimated a little bit easier into the Miami game. It's tough. I'll say a draw because I do like Mike Evans and I do like Tyreek. Okay, the running back 1 of the year, if I'm not mistaken, Alvin Kamara, Devin Singletary, Jonathan Taylor, James Robinson. Dude, I love James Robinson. Now, this guy is going to be a guy who gets picked early next year. That's Jonathan Taylor. I am not. I'm off. I am off on Jonathan Taylor. He is starting to be in a 3-man committee. He's becoming way too touchdown dependent. I'm going to pass on Jonathan Taylor. I was nervous about touchdown dependency. Singletary is only good if Zach Moss is out. Because, look at the splits. Zach Moss in, 7 to 8 points. Zach Moss out, 14 to 16, which would bode well for Harsh in this one. I got to go Kamara and Singletary, assuming Zach Moss is out. Darren Waller versus Hayden Hurst. Slam dunk Darren Waller. Brandon Ayuk, and I guess a flex to be determined versus Marquise Brown and Zach Moss. Marquise Brown doesn't have a quarterback, which sucks. Ayuk, I don't know what Ayuk does moving forward with a healthy Debo. They're kind of the same player. I'll go Marquise. I'll go Marquise Brown, and because I know that Harsh has reinforcements, so let me go that route, I guess. Buffalo D, Tampa D. Easily Tampa D. Easily Tampa D. Okay, if I pick a winner on this one, Harsh, you're missing Devontae Adams on a bye, and A.J. Brown, I don't know if he plays, but it could cost you. Because I like Lamar, I like Mike Evans, I like Alvin Kamara. This is. I know I bring reference to this team a lot, but this reminds me of, remember that Allen team that made it to the Super Bowl with 3 people? It's literally 3 elite players, and then everything else is just kind of thrown in there. But Harsh at least will have a substantial floor. Can he come close to the ridiculous output that those 3 will come by? I would say it's close. It's close. I'm actually going to go Harsh in this one in a close match of 123 to 118. Okay, battle for first place is on the line, gentlemen, in this division. This is what I like to call the wild card division because I think 2 teams in this division in particular have an outcome of being amazing, but I don't know if it'll ever achieve that potential. And then there's other 2 teams that I'm just not big on for injury reasons or just crappy built team. Big Face Coffee getting robbed on Monday night. Man, oh man, I could have used that 123 last week. Could have used it last week, but who is this? David? Yeah, David's son. Thank you for your team, or not your team. Bill Belichick single-handedly made me win against you last week. That game plan by killing clock for me to have Kansas City defense every time they would kill it, and it was a Brian Hoyer turnover. Gotta love it on my end, obviously. David, I want to talk to you about DeAndre Hopkins, so if you're listening, hit me up. Dak, Mahomes, I'm going to say draw, even draw. My concern with Dak Prescott is the Giants aren't going to be able to score points. I don't care how bad this defense is. This could be a Ezekiel Elliott 4-touchdown game if they really wanted it to be. So maybe I'll give a slight lean to Pat Mahomes. Daniel Jones is awful. It's not. I don't know if it's necessarily his fault, but he looks awful. Will Fuller, Calvin Ridley, not officially listed on the injury report, quote unquote, yet. We'll have to see how he's progressing. Coffee, I told you this, Calvin Ridley is like Will Fuller. He's one of these guys, once he's on the injury report, I don't feel comfortable at all rostering him. Okay, maybe rostering him I do, but starting him, like I said, it was a clear decoy because they thought Julio would be fine. Then Julio gets re-injured. By the way, if both of you played DFS, I am not joking when I say this because this sounds like a harsh reference, and it's not. In DFS this week, play Olamide Zaccheaus. I'm not fucking joking. Play Olamide Zaccheaus. He's only $3,000 and build your lineup from there. I'm telling you right now, Olamide Zaccheaus, especially if Julio's not in and Calvin Ridley's going to draw all that attention, Olamide Zaccheaus. Just saying. Calvin Ridley, Will Fuller. If they're healthy, love them. Will Fuller should be fine. He's gonna see Trey Herndon, not C.J. Henderson, which, as bad as Henderson has looked, he's had some good spurts in there. Will Fuller and Deshaun Watson just might be going off because they're celebrating the dismissal of Bill O'Brien. Speaking of being dismissed by Bill O'Brien, you have DeAndre Hopkins and Christian Kirk. David, I think this might be the one week where that Cardinal double stack might work. They have lost 2 in a row. How do we cure this? We play the New York Jets. Sounds good to me. Christian Kirk, believe it or not, I think has a lot of upside in this game. He's a guy, if he does go off again, I would try to ship, but nobody is going to buy. DeAndre Hopkins will get his standard 14 to whatever. Assuming Calvin Ridley is not listed on the injury report, though, I got to go with Big Face Coffee. However, Big Face Coffee, me and you both know this, and don't fucking lie. We know that when Julio Jones is not out there, the expectation for Calvin Ridley goes down a little bit. Targets go up, efficiency goes down. You hear me? You feel me? Miles Sanders, James Conner, David Johnson, Mark Ingram. David Johnson against Jacksonville, it doesn't matter. He'll still look like you, David Johnson. Mark Ingram, not startable at this point. By default, I'll go Coffey's backs, but I don't like Coffey's backs. Miles Sanders would have been good if Philly had an offensive line. James Conner, Coffey for the time being. Sure. Ride it as long as he's healthy. Craig Olsen taking on Evan Ingram. I saw somebody out there who said Evan Ingram is a buy low. I don't know what this guy is on. This guy looks awful this year, but I'll still go Evan Ingram. Hey, let me just say, Michael Gallup's still running the most routes in the NFL. He's running 197. I mean, I'm not concerned. Coffey, the 197 routes, buddy, are great. I'll give you that. If you told me you have the receiver who runs the most routes in the league, that's fine. But Dak's not regressing. I don't want to say it's a regression thing. But Dak now has an elite receiver going over the middle of the field for the check down. He's not going to wait to develop for Michael Gallup to get deep all open over the field. Michael Gallup is, you can't sell him for obvious reasons. But this guy's not going to be used. As long as CeeDee Lamb operates in the middle and Amari Cooper is still the one, he just seems like he's the guy who's left out. Yeah, I know. And I know you're saying that, but especially in the game against the New York Giants, unless they're just mad because they got embarrassed by Cleveland. I mean, week in and week out, dude, he's just a deep threat on this team. Jerick McKinnon, even with Mostert back, he should be fine. It looks like he has an established role on this offense. D. Jackson, Sammy Watkins, it doesn't matter. As much as I don't like Michael Gallup, I hate Watkins and Jackson much, much, much more. Michael Gallup is like your Will Fuller. It's funny because it's like boom or bust. And you have Will Fuller. Arizona defense. I know. That's why I picked them up for the Jets. Well, you little bastard. The Jets defense made you get 30 from Indianapolis, and I'm still not buying Indy as being an elite defense. So give me that nonsense. Arizona against the Jets is money. I don't care. Joe Flacco is in there, immobile quarterback. I expect a pick six or a few. And speaking of pick sixes or a few, New England versus Arizona might be the defensive matchup of the week. I'm actually going to go crap. Both teams are traveling. I'll go with New England because they have the better defense in general. It's not just a streaming matchup. All right. David keys to victory. That Cardinal stack is number one. If you told me there's a game where this Cardinal stack could pay off for you, buddy, it's against the New York Jets. As of right now, I think Kirk and D-Hop should be fine injury-wise. I know last week was a little bit concerning. That's stage number one for you. Key to victory for you, David. Number two, David Johnson needs to score a touchdown, and he's literally touchdown or crap. And your key to victory number three, this New England defense could be what Allen had last year. They just came off an embarrassing loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know if Cam Newton is back, but Bill Belichick, the genius that he is, time and time again, when they need the defense to be their quote-unquote offense or step up, they always step up. Now I'm banking on that against Brett Rippon. Coffey, your keys to victory, buddy. Your running back combos, I think, have a distinct advantage workload-wise and production-wise over David's. So running backs need to, I would say, honestly, I'm not nervous about David. If they can combine for 30 overall, cool. Key to victory number two for Rob Coffey. Calvin Ridley can't be a decoy. I am extremely nervous as a Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones owner because now with Ridley being the decoy, it makes me very, very concerned. This team could be mentally checked out of it anyway, and it's why Russell Gage and Olamide Zaccheaus might be guys if they're going to benefit from decoys. So that's another one. Oh, and third key to victory, if I can find one. Oh, the Arizona D has to be really good. My winner is just based on the depth point of view, and I got to go with Mr. Coffey. The only thing that concerns me on the Coffey end is Calvin Ridley being a decoy, but even let's say Calvin Ridley gets in you another donut. David has to rely on Deshaun Jackson and Sammy Watkins to put up beast numbers. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but I got to go with Mr. Coffey. All right, obviously, tempers are flaring with the COVID news in this matchup, but I do. One team, because of injuries and COVID, is starting to trend down in the wrong direction. Not your fault. Again, I'm not blaming this on a managerial spot. Not your fault. Bottom line, I'm going to say it's not your fault, so I'm giving you a pass. And George Kittle, Corn, David Krier. Really, really solid team. After the draft, I liked it, and it is now forming into a beast of a squad since the Nick Chubb injury. Wow. I'm going to take Deshaun Watson in the quarterback matchup. Great spot to be in when Jacksonville doesn't get to the quarterback, and Deshaun Watson not being good against pressure this year. This should be fine. This should be fine for Deshaun Watson. I am not at all nervous about Deshaun Watson. He will eat. Thielen, Beckham, Robinson, Juju. Okay. All right, so you had 2 lackluster games out of Adam Thielen, and then you had 2 beastly games. And why is this the case? Well, it's simple, because Justin Jefferson is stepping up. My concern with Adam Thielen was I didn't think he was an alpha, and I didn't think that he could get open if he was the only one that could catch passes on this team. You saw that in week 2. You saw it in week 3. However, week 3, they unleashed Justin Jefferson. He went to the slot now. Adam Thielen doesn't play the slot, but he is now able to see single coverage because of Justin Jefferson, which bodes well for his outlook moving forward. Therefore, I might be wrong yet again on Adam Thielen, but it's not because, yes, he is quote-unquote talented, but he's a guy that benefits from single coverage, which is why he was a beast with Stephon Diggs. Now with Justin Jefferson doing that, he is operating on the outside, which I didn't like when that move happened. My tone changed a little bit, but I'm still tempering expectations. He's in a good matchup. Allen Robinson is in a good matchup. Juju against Philly is lackluster. I don't like it that much. Beckham, decent, but I don't trust it. Odell Beckham will get you 8 points. Juju will get you like 12. So with that math, I'll go Krier. Okay, Johnny, your running backs can't be relied on. Welcome to the club because of the COVID news. So Dalvin Cook and Kareem Hunt by a mile. Mark Andrews, George Kittle, great one-on-one matchup. But George Kittle, anytime he's healthy and getting most of the targets, is a beast. Jerry Jeudy, Julian Edelman, Ronald Jones, Tyler Boyd. Okay, let's start with Jerry Jeudy. By default, they might just have to double cover him. Oh, wait a minute. Stephon Gilmore is not in. This could be sneaky for Jerry Jeudy. But I still think their corners are solid. They have one of the best secondary units in the league. So I don't know what Belichick is going to do, because it's like, do you really take out Jerry Jeudy? I mean, he's the most explosive guy, so my answer would have to be yes, because there's no Noah Fant. It's like, are you really going to game plan against Tim Patrick? I don't know if he has a game plan. This might be one of those weird games where somebody random goes off, or we don't know what to take from it, because there is no guy you can game plan for an offense that's hurt. Julian Edelman, is this a game where they're going to have to throw the ball? No, therefore he is not startable. However, you're dealing with injuries. I get it. Ronald Jones, Tyler Boyd. Ronald Jones for now is good, but I don't like Ronald Jones, but he's benefiting with Leonard Fournette not being healthy. Tyler Boyd proving me wrong. I drafted him, and this is what I thought he was going to be when I drafted him. Unfortunately, I needed a running back, and that didn't work out on my end, so congrats there. New Orleans, Pittsburgh. Oh, wow. A dead even matchup. I think there's a lot of sacks and turnovers to be had for both of them. Johnny, you know where I'm already going with this, and usually when I pick against you, it works out, so maybe it's in your favor. Kittle Corn, dude, this is a good team. He's got, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if he has any COVID-related first place injuries or outs, so got to go Krier. The 2 undefeated teams. One has just been on fire. The other, has proved me wrong a little bit, but I'm still not buying this kind of start. And the depth is starting to show a little bit with it. So B Magic versus the Fresh Prince. So Drew Brees at home against his former team. Russell Wilson at home versus the Vikings. Slam dunk Russell Wilson. Keenan Allen, CeeDee Lamb, who are paying off for the risks that you've done. So congrats. Deontay Johnson might be back against Philly. It should be fine. I don't know what Pittsburgh looks like after a week. Stephon Diggs against Tennessee. If this game does get canceled, Paul, you're going to have an alternative. I am not going to tell you what to do because that's what I do. I just call whatever you have in. But Keenan Allen and CeeDee Lamb will give Mr. Magic a good substantial floor. Carson and Edwards-Helaire, great, fantastic matchups on both of their sides. Zeke Elliott, though, it should be a force to be reckoned with. However, you don't have Aaron Jones to back him up, so I got to go Paul in that regard. Travis Kelce, Tyler Higbee, Travis Kelce, DK Metcalf, Cooper Kupp, both in decent matchups, taking on Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley. Slam dunk on the Paul side yet again. San Fran against Miami at home. Ryan Fitzpatrick coming to town bodes well. But on the flip side, you also have Baltimore, who I think was going to sack Joe Burrow a ton. I mean, the projections kind of say with where I'm going with in this one, there's really not much to talk about. Got to go Paul over B Magic. Sorry, B Magic. I think this is your first loss of the year. I'd be very, very shocked. Paul, the only thing I'm worried about on your end is if, what the heck is his name? Diggs doesn't play because of COVID.